And we're live! Hello all, and welcome back to the Invictus stream. My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I'm here once again with the lovely and talented, my amazing wife, Mrs. Joe Guthrie. We are joined once again by the hilarious, the enigmatic, and one of our fellow players on Dice Shame, Alex Nursall. We are back with the one and only GM of Dimension Door, Mr. James Schwartz. Hello. And coming back to the stream after a bit of a break, please welcome to the stage, Mr. Gary Furlong. Oh no, something's wrong with Gary. We broke him. There he is.
I'm happy in real life.
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary friends, welcome back to the Invictus stream. We are so excited to be here tonight. Sorry for taking a break last week. We're human. No, there was a lot of snow, and normally it wouldn't change this game, but Joe has to go to work, and we wanted to make sure we had enough time to get through the action. But thank you for joining us. If this is your first stream, welcome. We run RPGs every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and we play with our friends. And these friends that we have are from a variety of shows and different things. And I'm going to introduce them real quick. I'm going to show you links that you can check them out. Of course, you can check out our lovely James at Dimension Door Podcast. GM extraordinaire, but also just a talented role player and great person overall.
Aw, shucks.
You can check
We
out.
love you, James.
I love
James.
you guys too.
You can check out Alex at Parkdale Haunt, as well as DiceShamePodcast.com.
Two things.
All over the place.
Two things.
Hold
and
on.
Two things.
more coming.
Yes. Ooh, yes. More things. They'll all happen.
All of the things.
Eventually.
10 thumbs up.
Soon.
And you can check out Gary at Gary
They call me
Furlong,
Gert.
voiceovers.com.
Yes.
As well as, if you are an anime fan on Crunchyroll, which is the anime place to be, The Girl from the Other Side is currently out now, right? And
indeed.
Gary did all of the, not all of the, but the
It's everyone.
all Gary all the time. Did all the voices.
I would watch that.
I would too. Look at it. It looks awesome.
So you're the...
Gary's the little one.
I was going to say Gary's the flowers on the table.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm actually the teapot.
Yeah, actually, I'll hold this and you give us a little sample of the voice.
Okay, little girl, you gonna drink your tea? Let your tea.
Yeah, so if you want to hear that, it's not that. It's actually Gary is the lead in this, which
Yes,
is
very
awesome.
different.
It's awesome.
It's all about a teapot. So strange.
But that's
It was
really
a lot
cool.
of fun, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a fantastic. Oh, and also we didn't realize until the credits started, but Alex Nursall, this is Gary Furlong, this is Alex Nursall.
Hello.
Which is really funny because Gary is a professional voice actor and Alex Nursall is a professional voice director. So
Oh wow, cool.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Send me your demo.
Probably we should have connected that earlier.
That's true.
Until this-
Casting director meet
voices.
professional actor.
But genuinely, yeah, both of you are professionals in your
That's
field
funny.
and definitely should know each other. Because literally, Alex is often like, "Oh, I'm looking for a voice here," and I just very often recommend Gary. I promise. I definitely
Like
have.
the one night I did not focus on any of the audio quality. Usually I've got a microphone, got some outboard processing, like with a gate and everything that sounds super pro. Now I'm just like,
Sounds
I
like
use
you're-
my webcam.
You're in a sock right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's great. Don't worry. The sock adds to it. What's that sound?
What is that sound?
You hear that, right? Oh, it was my tea bag.
What? What kind of
His
teapot?
teabag is
Something
lightly
wrong with my
screaming.
teabag.
Harlan, let me out, man! Come on, man!
No, you know what the fuck it was? This is okay. Quick stupidness, but I have a hot plate now, which I'm really excited
Oh
about.
god, it's so good.
Oh, the
But
hot
I dipped my tea in and stupidly dropped the little end of it, and then hung the end over the side, and it was wet, and it was touching the plate, and it was just sizzling away. It was just like a high pitch, like, but obviously loud enough that Joe on the other side of the room could hear it too. I thought it was just me going insane or Gary
Yes,
fucking.
Brianna
us.
and Michael, it sounded just like a little...
It's exactly.
That's the teabag.
It's exactly. Why have I never seen that that gift before.
It's very good.
I feel like we should be at the age or the time in our lives where we're learning new gifts.
Nothing new.
I thought that had passed, but apparently it hadn't.
That's very good.
It's very, very good. Anyway, you can't see it unless you're part of the Discord. So join the Discord if you want to do that. It's a lot of fun. So, you can check out Gary, Alex, and James at all their respective
What
stuff.
about you?
And us. You can check out diceshamepodcast.com and malevolent.ca. Actually, a new episode of Malevolent came out today, so you can check that out as soon as possible. It's the start of season 4. It's a good time to jump in. Not really. It'd be a terrible time to jump
Good time to go back to the start.
Oh, like that Coldplay song. But yeah, how are y'all doing? Has everyone had a good week?
Yeah.
Getting by.
I had
Had
to
some
think
wine.
for a moment.
I'm wearing a cool hat. It's
Alex,
doing okay.
You are wearing a cool
Wearing a
hat.
Thank
cool
you.
hat.
It has
Are
a little
you-
sun on it.
Aw.
Right.
I need to ask Alex if you have any of the devil's beverage nearby, because you were threatening that you would have one every time you and I were interacting digitally.
Unfortunately, I do not have any kombucha on me tonight. I keep showing up
not like
on
kombucha,
Dice Shame
Joe?
records and streams with weirder and weirder kombuchas. So tonight, all I have
No kombucha,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
kombucha's amazing. But tonight I just
fizz.
have the finest of beverages, Labatt Crystal. It is.
Oh, whoa.
Oh,
they
fuck
still
yeah.
make that?
Do they ever?
You drink that with your pinky hefty?
Is that like
Crystal.
the, I know nothing about this. Is that like the Canadian version of Natty Ice?
Probably.
Oh.
What's Natty Ice like?
Pabst Blue, probably.
Yeah.
Natty Ice is like bottom rung light beer.
I wouldn't say
Oh,
it's the
ours is
Canadian
called
version.
Dutch Gold.
I don't think I've had. Oh, I haven't had Dutch Gold, but I haven't had. No, I have had Natty. It's not Natty Ice. I would say
Okay.
this is like pure dad beer. This is like.
Okay.
This is like.
Carlsberg.
Yeah.
Coors Light.
This
Or
is,
Carlington, sorry.
My dad used to drink Carlsberg.
Yeah, Carlsberg.
he's
Carlington's a cheap
German,
beer too,
so-
isn't it?
There's
I don't remember.
Carling, and then
Yeah.
there's Carlsberg.
Yeah.
No, there's a Canadian beer called Carling.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, Carling.
Carlington?
But yeah,
or
this
something.
is.
Sounds
this
like a
is,
shitty beer.
Yeah, we're all going to Carlington.
Maybe it's Carling. Maybe
It's
I'm
like
wrong.
off-brand,
Oh, Dad,
like Carleton
again?
University is Carlington. I had a friend who had a mug that his mom had, like, she'd gone to Carleton University, and they made like mugs for all the graduates in like whatever year it was, and they fucked up and they spelled it wrong, so it was
Good.
Carrollton.
Good.
That's amazing.
Carrollton.
Speaks to the quality.
Yeah,
That's
I was
fantastic.
like, what? How do you fuck that up? And they're like, well, we made like 2,000 of these. Everyone just gets one. Goodbye. Here's your degree.
You're leaving anyway.
And your
Amazing.
misspelled mug.
That's great.
Perfect. Before we get too far into the game, which it definitely is not tonight, Verdant Chainsaw Ballet is going to be a wild, weird, just fun power fantasy. Let's have some fun. But we are using a rule which I like to call Cull of 20.
Hoot,
This is a
hoot.
game that we brought out for a game called Cull of 20, and now I'm just calling it the Cull of 20, and, so Verdant Chainsaw Ballet is a Cull of 20 game. What that means is, rather than roll and die like losers, or having stats, basically 20 is the best and 1's the worst. And this group will get to make rules at various times. I might be like, okay, Alex, a blade comes at your head, and you got to roll to see if you get out of the way. And rather than do any of that, you just get to pick which of these numbers you want to do. So you could use that nat 20, use it up, and succeed, obviously. A 20 is always going to succeed, and a 1's always going to fail. Or you could eat the 1 or anywhere in between. But the thing is, the group uses this, and everyone knows what you use too. So if you use that 20, you're a jerk, perhaps. Or maybe they're like, oh yeah, you should use it. Just get it over with. Just do what you got to do. So it's a little bit of a competitive angle to the game, but also a group. I mean, everyone can be talking about it. Should I use the 20? Should I not use the 20? I think Erica used the 20 immediately last time.
Gotta love Erica.
I think
That
it'd be
seems
really
like Erica energy.
I think it'd be really
Absolutely.
funny to like speed run losing the game and to be like a blade comes down, you're like 1.
Best part about that is that just ends Alex's
be
game.
the most toxic players ever and just try and shut down the game at every turn.
This is just
do
how I
it.
play
Well,
werewolf, so
That's the fun of it, though.
No.
That's the fun of it, though, because when that one gets used up, sure, that's great. But then your damage is done, so you might want to use the one on a low roll or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only rule. Other than that, we're gonna have some fun time tonight. So, shall we begin?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Without further ado, let's do
Credits?
Verdant Chainsaw Ballet. A seer stands on a mountain. The sun is hot and large behind him. Beneath his bare feet, barren, dry sandstone rock. He stands before a cliff, and far beneath him, the verdant jungle, as wide as the unending sea. He stands blind as the day he was born, the eyes scooped out of his head, and speaks his words. Beneath the verdant jungle, in the pits of flesh and bile, a mighty weapon can be found, if one can pass the trials. Where worthy do not dare to go, where madness finds a home, where death, decay, and rotted meat move without their bones. Here you'll find the grinner's maw, but beware what it bring. For those who use this artifact will surely feel its sting. Stands as the wind blows dry, aggressively over his chest. He waits for a reaction from the crowd, which stand opposite him. 400 members of the brutal Flood clan. They watch him silently as they sit on their metal creatures. Large, house centipede-looking things. Their rippled, dry skin and war paint, signifiers of the surface world, set your stomach on edge. And with a mighty thump, you hear their leader, Gruzzle Leech, step off of his Grogand, a giant eyeless creature with a huge horn and a metal harness that he was riding. Only the wind flaps through the Flood's flags as Gruzzle walks up to the ancient seer. The prophecy, he says, gesturing to the man who stands behind him. Got it? And he kicks the seer off the edge of the cliff. Running to the edge, you see him fall, his scream echoing all the way down to the verdant jungle, and with a crunch, his body hits the foliage below, and with a metal screech, the apes begin to tear him apart. A long, awkward silence, about 30 seconds, continues, before Gruzzle speaks again. This weapon is what I want, and this weapon is what you'll get me, he says, turning to the 4 of you, kneeling, with bomb collars around your neck. A laughing echoes throughout the crowd, and with your hands tied behind your backs, you look up towards Gruzzle as he walks over. He puts his hand on your face, Gary. Kind of. Who are we looking at?
So when he puts his hand to my face, I say, careful of the spines, as usual. What you see before you is a tiny little cactus. Not a huge cactus, not even human-sized. And yes, I know I sound kind of strange. But my name is Charles Epenus. I used to be a human, but now I got through some sort of weird experiment, got turned into a cactus, and now I'm simply called Gert. And I usually ride on the shoulder, because I'm very compact, of my friend, who I imagine I am sitting on the shoulder right now. But yeah, I'm a tiny green cactus with a lot of spines sticking out. I have two little noobs for arms and noobs for legs. I generally don't like to move around because I am so slow, so I stay on the shoulder of my friend Greta Gert.
Yeah, and Grezel sort of touches the pricks on your face just ever so slightly. And he slides the back of his hand over to Greta Gut. Who are we looking at, James?
You're looking at Greta Gut, formerly known as 6R37746U7 in the ancient Leet speak. Greta is part nuclear reactor microwave, and he's got some nice little camera sensors for eyeballs now. And that doesn't really work very well, because if you ever looked at a camera looking at something radioactive, it's not a fun sight, but no, it's pretty good. He also has all of these arms. He has two arms, and he has all of these dials and sensors just implanted, and they say a lot of things, and Greta isn't sure what any of them mean.
And Grezel just pulls his hand back and wipes whatever was wet on your face on his shirt, and he turns towards you, Theophania.
Yes.
Who are we looking at?
Theophania is the last librarian to have existed in this space. Prior to this, she was a human who existed within the only space still containing all of the books and CDs of human knowledge. But once the fires came for her, she snuck underneath the ground and went away with whatever she could find. And these things have all fused together. She is both an AI helper and also hundreds and upon thousands of bugs and roots that make up her skin and the inside. So as you put an ear close to her, you don't hear the sound of a heartbeat. You hear the sound of thousands upon thousands of skittering legs. And she looks up and she says, the last time that someone used a collar bomb to kill someone was August 28th, 2003, in the death of Brian Wells.
He's like, 2000 what? And he takes a step to the side and he looks down at you. And who are we looking at, Lemon Pig?
I am Lemon Pig!
Oh no.
Lemon Pig. Lemon Pig.
Inspiration.
Thank you. Lemon Pig stands before you, proudly, strong against the sky. Lemon Pig has two giant serrated knives for legs and a body that is made of a strange yellow substance. Their face is pitted and smells delicious. Their arms are also two serrated knives.
Yeah, and Grezel goes to do something to you and thinks better of it, and he then turns around with his back to the four of you as you kneel with guards around you, and he points to the sun and he says, by the time that sun rises a second time, you'll be back here with my weapon or else. And he flicks open the latch to a detonator. You hear the steady beeping begin from each of the collars around your necks, and he smiles before stopping the beeping and putting it back in his pocket. And then he turns to the crowd. Alternatively, if anyone here finds the weapon first, they'll get 20,000 groglings! And the crowd goes wild. And he says, and hell, I'll throw in another 14,000 groglings if you can take down one of them. And he points towards the four of you as the crowd sort of chants but nervously. And suddenly we see that the crowd is very nervous about these four people, these four powerful things. And he says, well, to the four of you, it's time to go. And with that, the guards standing behind you each kick the four of you off the edge of the cliff as you begin falling down to the ground. And yet, this fall will not kill you, for you four are no ordinary killers. No normal survivors in this wasteland. No, you are dancers. An elite, skilled, violent fighter, blessed with the great green AI that has touched this earth. You have been fused with powers beyond what normal survivors have. For in this ballet, the dancers set the pace. Gert, what is your power?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that this fall could not kill me because I am so small. I cannot reach terminal velocity. So
You just
I can fall from any height.
You like float off the shoulder?
Yeah, I try to catch up with Greta because I am too slow. You know, I can at will extrude many spines from my face and all over my body, and it can shoot out or it can just get long. But mainly it is all spine based. So sometimes it is harder. And every now and then, I sometimes produce a great iridescent fruit out of what I suppose would be my cactus cochlea, my anus when I was a human. It is don't tell anybody, but it's part of the reason why Greta was so enamored by me when he saw me as a tiny cactus, a iridescent fruit. I don't know what it does, but it comes out. My main attack. Spines. I can shoot them, or I can make a long one, about a foot.
Unbreakable spines.
Unbreakable.
They cannot be broken.
Adamantium spines.
Yeah. Greta, as you fall, what is your power? Your superpower?
Yeah, Greta's power is he opens up his little lead door to the nuclear core, and you can put things in there, and then sometimes they come out, and it's kind of liquidy, and most of the time,
Disgusting.
that'll just burn through stuff. Just
Cool.
completely, it's gone.
Yeah, like an acid that penetrates anything.
Yeah, like really toxic nuclear waste, yeah.
Theophania, what is your superpower?
My superpower would be the continued use of all the bugs within me. Once I place my hand on a surface, the bugs can leave and take off to whatever I have directed them to, as I am filled with many flesh-eating beetles, bugs, and botflies, along with a whole range of mosquitoes.
Yeah. And Lemon Pig, what's your superpower?
Lemon Pig! Lemon Pig's flying through the air in a bunch of like anime sword poses. Lemon Pig's superpower is that they can spit out coins at high velocity like some kind of fucking vending machine
Yes.
gone rogue.
Fast enough to chew through any organic
Pew, pew, pew,
material.
pew, pew. That's right.
And the four of you land with a heroic thump, each in your different poses. Lemon Pig looking badass, Gert floating down.
Catch me! Catch me!
I got you! I got him! I
Thank you,
got him!
Greta. Thank you.
You are deep already within the verdant jungle, a amalgamation of metal and earth in a way that no one could really understand, but you could because it's very normal for you. The trees are razor sharp. The leaves themselves tend to move and creak, and yet there's blood all over the ground from the seer that was ripped apart. You stand in the wet guck of whatever he was, the four of you.
Greta opens up his lead-lined shield and is just like, I mean, like, no one else is gonna use it, right? And he just starts scooping up, like, the big
Yeah.
chunks
Just
and
this,
just
like,
putting it inside.
yeah, like Wally, you like scrape this amount into your stomach. And as you're doing that, you're looking around and you hear a familiar voice, sort of just on the edge of the jungle. These thick trees, they're not exactly tree trunk colored. Everything's sort of a different shade of green. But you see this head sort of pop out, and it's the seer. It sort of just turns for a second and looks at you and then says, "You've made it down."
Lemon Pig's head just slowly turns toward the seer
Yeah.
and then
Why aren't you
starts
dead?
stalking towards the seer with their knives ready.
I'm not dead because it was a safe fall. I'm perfectly all right. You notice
How
you
is
can
it a
only see
safe
its head.
fall?
That checks out. I mean, we're all fine too.
Did you say, Alex?
How is that a safe fall? From this distance, you should have been turned into 14 different types of paste. And she reaches down and she scoops up some and she like licks it off her hand to like get the bugs inside her to give them bloodlust.
Yeah, and they're chittering away, and
Yes.
you can taste that this is definitely human. And he's like, I'm perfectly fine. Now, come over here with your eyes closed.
What about the goo?
That's not mine. It must have been here already.
Show us the rest of
I
your
don't know
body.
if that's true. I mean, look at this one on my arm. This one's red right now, and normally that means it could.
Everything's fine. Just walk over here. Don't look very hard.
Greta, I think
Okay.
he is telling us a lie. I do not trust him at all.
Greta's gonna start walking over, but Greta is going to look very, very hard.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah. As you look really, really hard, give me a roll.
I'm gonna take a 5.
Yeah, let's use that 5 up. I need a sound effect to signify. There we go.
Great. What could possibly go wrong?
The 5 is used. Actually, you know what? I'll black it out with one of these little squares. Even better. Bonk. Perfect. Yeah, nice low roll. You don't see nothing. You think this head looks pretty on point. It's about the height of the seer. Nothing seems weird. And as you walk up, what you don't see is the large metallic claw that comes around the other side of the tree. Everyone else does, of course. And just as it snips at you, and you feel a large chunk of your shoulder just pop off, you see this creature raise and step out. It is a crab, but wearing the head of this guy sort of puppeting it on the top like an anglerfish, and its eyes are metallic and it's got moss hanging all over it, and it immediately starts snapping at all of you. And yeah, you lose a piece of your shoulder.
Damn it!
Was
Lemon
it the piece
pig.
I was on?
Yeah,
No,
but now
the
it'll
other
just
one.
fit inside a little better. It'll be more secure.
Lemon
trying
Pig,
to
you're
sew
first.
it
What
up.
do you do?
Yeah, use
Lemon
a
Pig
spine
does
to
like
get
a
back
cool
on.
squat and then springs up into the trees, landing on the back of the crab, and then starts punching down with the stabbing
Immediately,
arms.
you start chipping pieces of the crab, and whatever flesh is underneath it go flying up in the air as it goes. Gert, what do you do?
Does it have a mouth?
Yeah, it does.
Is it big enough for me to fit in?
Yes, it is.
So Gert is going to try to jump straight into the mouth and immediately spines out a full foot long each way and just start rolling around.
Yeah, perfect. So at first you jump into its mouth, and it thinks that it's kind of like, and it eats it, and then it's just
got
sort of
your pain!
pierced its mouth shut as it's like bouncing around. Theophania, what do you do? Your turn.
I reach out and I put my hands out and I go, my children. And all these beetles come crawling out from like every little like part, like the fingernails and out of my mouth and everything, and they run over into any cracks it can find to find any sort of organic matter.
Oh yeah, they
within
all
the
just start
crab.
covering in the cracks and start nibbling away at all the meat between the joints
And I can
as the
taste
crab
it.
is just screaming, but its mouth is fused shut and its back is being chewed open. Greta, what do you do?
Greta's gonna try and grab one of the claws and just start to shove it into his like incinerator chest.
Yes,
Trying to
yeah.
melt away one of these arms.
You're like feeding it in as it's like,
Yeah.
and within a matter of moments, this crab's back snaps open, its jaw falls off, and all of the adjoining tissue begins to fall apart. And as Greta continues to feed a piece into its chest, you find that the body is completely dead as you stand over this crab, which has been vanquished. The jungle lying before you, and in the darkness you see these, or in the setting sun you see these kind of like eyes within the jungle sort of just like back away from all of you.
Yeah, get fucked!
Perfect. And you start heading off into the jungle. The four of you are walking along. The damp, sort of almost humid air clings to your skin, Lemon Pig.
Lemon Pig is going to try to climb up a nearby tree to get kind of a sense of what direction we need to go in, make sure that we're headed in the right way.
Yeah.
So they're going to like kind of like jump up into the tree with their crazy limbs and try to get a look at what's around.
Yeah, you climb up. Gert and Greta, what are you two doing?
I think Gert will jump off. Seeing what Lemon Pig has done, Gert is going to jump off Greta's shoulder and do the opposite of Lemon Pig, and is going to run a bit ahead, let down some roots into the soil, and see if he can commune with anything. Or like, what is anything up there trying to kill me? I don't know. I'll just check the bottom, the topsoil, and whatever plants are around there.
Amazing. Thea, your name is not what it is, so I keep getting fucked up.
I can
by
change
it.
that.
No, it's fine. Theophania. I'm just gonna write it here. There we go. Theophania.
Yes. She sees a like an anthill on the ground, and she reaches down and scoops up a handful of bugs and dirt and pours it into her ear, and she goes, tell me what you've seen.
And Greta.
Greta's over trying to talk to a tree.
Yeah.
So, we came from up there and we're looking for this thing. Which way should we go?
Yeah.
I can give
Tell
you
me
some
what he
flag. And he pulls out like a handful of like this molten goo and just holds it towards the tree.
That's amazing. Lemon Pig, you reach the top of these trees and you see the horizon. You see the verdant jungle. It stretches the length of the planet. You see far in the distance to your left smoke rising from the horizon. And you see far in the distance to your right sort of a hollow in the trees, which seems to have sort of lack of foliage. And these are the sort of two ways you see. And as you look at the sun, you see already that it is setting. And you remember you have until the second sunrise to come back with the weapon. Meanwhile, Gert, you have touched the roots of the trees, and deep within your spines you hear, "Hey,
Hello.
what's up?"
Not too much. I was sent down here to find a weapon. That's what the humans are calling it. Let me see. A thing that can do great damage. Possibly not natural. Was eaten around there. Possibly somewhere. You heard of anything like this?
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I have heard
It's
something
bitchin'.
like that. Yeah, you got any money?
Yeah, you want human money or you want plant money?
Yeah, plant money. Yeah, you
I
got
can
any plant money?
I can spare some water. I have lots of it inside me. I have to conserve. I do it quite
Yeah,
well.
Can you do like 20 water?
I can give you 17 at the most.
Come on, 25, please. 25 water.
You're not getting 25. You're pushing your luck with this 20.
Oh, come on, man.
18.5.
Just spot me 20. Fine, 19. Final. Come on, 19, man. 19
We can
water.
do 19.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, just pour it in me. And you see this like little plant mouth just go, and it opens on the ground beside you.
You're robbing my blind.
Yeah, and as you pour it in, it just loves it. Meanwhile, Theophania, you're feeling all of these ants sort of deep within your ears, and it's this cacophony of noise all speaking at once. And they say, "Yes, my queen."
Is there anything that I should know? Is there any danger up ahead? Is there anything that we should know about in the forest?
The jungle is full of danger. There are those who wish to do you harm. They have taken a shorter route. Be wary of the hanging vines.
I wasn't sure if you were going to keep going.
No, that's it. Greta, you are talking to this tree, and as you're talking, you notice that there's sort of like this limb slowly growing out towards you.
Oh yeah, you want some? And Greta will just like push the slag and just like pour it onto the limb.
Yeah, and it just goes tss, and you feel like you hear the tree crying. Gert, you pour this water into the mouth of this thing, and it just lops it up hungrily. Oh, fuck, that's so good. Okay, thanks, I appreciate that.
Don't do this, buddy. Don't do this.
Just a little more water.
No,
man.
no, no,
Look,
no.
I'm so thirsty right now.
You're going to have to hand over some information, my friend. Mon frère.
Fine. Listen.
Okay.
Standing stones over the poison needle pits, okay?
Oui.
There's someone watching you. Just be careful. Watch the bushes, man, okay? Just watch the bushes. I gotta go. They're coming. And the
Okay.
mouth just disappears as Lemon Pig crawls back down.
Yeah, Lemon Pig is like got their knives stuck in the trunk and they're just like sliding down, doing irreparable damage to this old growth tree.
Yeah. You see Greta melting a tree limb. You see the tree crying. You see Gert on the ground. You see bugs crawling out of Theophania.
Are we ready to go?
Do you want to come with me, my family?
Yes, Queen. They all
Yes.
say in a cacophony of noise.
Join me.
And you get like cumulatively like 1 foot bigger from various.
Yeah. I get like my hair gets longer, but it's just more bugs and they're all hanging on.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the roots from the ground that have been like rooting you in place are just like snap off and add to you as well. You just like get bigger.
Yeah.
Amazing. So which direction are you going? Or I guess go ahead, talk.
Girdle relay. The plant said standing stone, something about bushes, and someone is watching us and that they are coming, so you have to go away. Let's keep on the lookout, I imagine. Greta, I'm coming up! Run back.
Okay.
Climb up Greta's back.
We have been told to be careful of any of sort of hanging vines. So we should be aware of those in the canopy.
Cool.
Cool. Okay.
There is smoke in the distance! And in the other distance, a hole!
Cool.
I'm
I
imagining
tried
windows
to feed
open.
a tree my gunk and it melted.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Joe, I hope a
think I made
window's
it
open
sad,
and the neighbors
though.
hear you.
I hope so too. I hope Henry's sleeping. No, I'm just kidding.
Aw.
Could you imagine?
Imagine.
Not
He's just
anymore,
like,
he
what the fuck?
Did they all look like it was a natural all, or was it the all dug by someone? Usually smoke means people, so we go towards smoke. Or unless the all is like a cyborg all. I don't know.
Cyborg.
Those are the scariest alls.
Gotta make a decision.
I want to do hole. Hole!
That kind of enthusiasm.
Theophania, she coughs a bit, and then a cocoon pops out of her mouth, and she peels it open, and a butterfly flies out and flies ahead of them.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, but the butterfly is like got metal wings. It's
Yes.
like and like jagged. It's like razor wire on the edge, like a saw. It's just like
Yeah, and it's made with little Intel inside chips.
yeah. It's awesome. Perfect. So you head towards the hole.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Let's do
You
it.
move through the thick jungle canopy, cutting yourself every once in a while in sharp razor leaves as you feel the branches bend and move as you get deeper into the jungle. Eventually, you're walking on what feels like clipped pieces of tin just crushing beneath your feet, and you see these like giant metallic centipedes just like chewing their
That's
way through
awesome.
things. Yeah.
It sounds like a car going by.
28.
Is that a Hyundai Elantra in the background?
And as you move through, you
were just
come
in
upon a
Central Park.
clearing where you notice these very thin, spindly, almost translucent vines.
Hanging vines.
Oh, the vines that were mentioned. Like, how low are they to the ground? Are they like?
They're all the way to the ground, pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, milk.
Could we cut
They're
them?
like it's like a sea of them. You can try.
And Theophania looks over to Lemon Pig, who's got sword arms and legs.
Lemon Pig braces themselves against the ground, puts all 4 blades down, and just spits an interrogatory coin. Just a scout coin.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just Google Terragator.
I don't know. Interrogative?
Is that a word? Terragator?
No, probably
Interrogative.
not.
It's a great word that
Interrogative.
should exist.
A warning
We'll go
shot.
You could do an
I like
interro
it.
bang.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
Ooh.
Did you spit one of those?
Yeah, no, so I spit a coin trying to figure out if it's gonna react to
Yeah,
touch.
you spit a coin at one of the vines and it sticks to it. And you see the vine move upwards.
Gert will shoot a small spine to try and see if we can replicate that result.
Yeah. You shoot a spine, and because you're so good, you could like shoot a spine on the angle. You know, you turn it sideways so it hits. You don't like slice it, and it hits. Yeah, and the same thing. It hits a vine and it starts getting pulled upwards.
Greta will throw some slag at it.
Yeah, you throw some slag at it, and you see like it kind of cut through in a wave. You know, and all the ones that it cut start pulling up.
Let's go! And Lemon Pig just starts spitting coins at all of them to try to make them all disappear.
Yeah, sure.
Girdle the same finger guns
Yeah.
with the spines.
Yeah.
Theophania puts a hand down and sends out all those ants, and they start to run up they touch all the things that are running up the vines up ahead.
Yeah. On the ones that the ants are picking, the vines are coming up almost quicker. Sort of just coming up. And as the four of you move through, sort of creating these holes in the vines, as you move through this almost large field of vines, you know, you do it for about 10 minutes, and you're about halfway through when you notice that behind you, the vines are falling back down. And that's when you notice this sort of like rain. And as you look on your shoulders, you see it's the shells of your ants, just the sort of carcasses that are left over.
Gary's sad face.
My children.
I do not like to see anyone lose a child.
And then you hear this
34,000 of them.
This deep bellowing from above you. And sort of with a shudder, all of the vines sort of move at once.
I think
I
we're
don't like
within
this.
something. I think we are deep within a thing.
Everybody give me a roll.
Everyone?
Everyone!
Ooh.
12.
First come, first serve. 12, remember your number.
14.
14!
Wow.
The 11.
Ooh, 11.
I'll take 13 just so it doesn't look weird.
I was hoping someone would just have the balls to be like 20. Fuck you guys.
All right.
That was easy. I
Gert.
don't know what the problem was.
Yeah, Gert, as you're all sort of moving through, Gert and Greta, that was 11. Who took 12?
I did.
You did. Sorry. So Gert, the problem is when I do this, your names are gone. Gert and Lemon Pig, as you sort of deftly try to move past these vines, as they shift, all the vines sort of move, almost like a wave, like underwater. They're very filamenty, you know, they're very light. Two of each sort of touch you, Lemon Pig, and touch you, Gert. And immediately you feel your body just seize, as if all the muscles or little porous members of your lemon get seized. And this sticky, sort of like impassable, impenetrable stickiness just begins drawing you up. And that's when Theophania and Greta, you look up and you see this mouth open, almost the entire length. You see the edges of teeth. All of these are coming from an open mouth. They were hanging between the teeth of this giant creature that begins drawing them up. And they are being sucked up. Greta and Theophania, what do you do, if anything?
Let him go. No. Fuck him. Run. No.
How could you, Greta?
Yeah, Greta, what do? You see your
Greta-
little Gert.
No! Gert!
Greta is going to grab onto one of the nearby vines
Yeah.
and just kind of hold on to it and try to start climbing it up. Greta,
Oh yeah,
you
your
want it?
fingers
So, like,
touch it
touch
and
it
you
and
can't let go.
stop.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh no, and you just go.
Oh,
Oh, no, Greta! No!
I'm coming,
Theophania,
Gert!
you're the last surviving member as of now. What do you do?
Start running. Fuck him. No. Game over. No. She looks up and she opens her mouth wide, wider than it should go, ever so slightly, and wasps pour out. They fly up
Yes.
there, and they're also holding the shards of a CD, little pieces of them, sharp little broken bits of plastic that line with what have once been her nails and her teeth.
Nice. Yeah, and what do they do? Where do the
They
wasps
fly
go?
up into the mouth towards like whatever, if there's like a tongue or like the roof of the mouth or something, any soft
Yeah.
piece it can find.
Yeah, they go right up to the root, and it's sort of like the roof of a snapping turtle's mouth. For anyone who has seen that, do you know that image?
I have.
Oh,
I
yeah.
worked with those.
Snapping turtle mouths?
Snapping turtles.
They seem like they wouldn't be great coworkers.
Oh my God!
it
Would
was an
you just
experience.
help me?
Stick out your finger.
Yeah. they're weird, but they're cool.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know what they look like, this is the inside of a snapping turtle's mouth. So that like
My
it's kind of
goodness.
like that, but like real spindly and hanging down. And as your little wasps go up and start stinging, Lemon Pig, what are you doing as you're being dragged up?
Lemon Pig just goes, no! And then starts spitting out coin after coin directly at the tentacle that's holding them and drawing them up. So I'm trying to like sever the tentacle kind of at its source.
Trying. The problem is all your muscles are seized, so you're like trying to spit, but it's like just all this change is littering down on Theophania. It's just like
Maybe I'm getting heavier then with all the change.
Lighter if you're spitting it out.
But no, I'm making it. Don't worry about creation of matter.
Yeah.
Lemon Pig's entirely not of this.
You're getting heavier.
Rules of physics don't apply.
Yeah, you're getting heavier. And as you're getting heavier, it's pulling tighter. But the wasps do their business. And suddenly, Greta, Lemon Pig, and Gert all fall with a crash to the ground as Theophania has saved you. But the creature is angry, and you hear this, and then from the other vines, the tendrils, you see these spooters, which you know are like giant spiders, but there's with 2 O's. And they all start spinning down as the vines around you start to quake. What do you all do? Gert?
How many spooters are there?
17.
Oh, okay, Gert's definitely gonna try to do like an AoE of spines. He's like, fucking spooter! Like Rambo with a big machine gun. Just like, just shooting spines at it in all directions.
You kill 14. How does the last one die?
It hit a spine for each of its 8 legs, like, and pins him to the trunk of the tree.
Yeah. and then the last one like goes right through its head, just like puts out its misery, and then like everyone looks at you, and you're like, whatever that cool guy thing is. That leaves 3 left. Theophania, how do you? Well, I guess you saved them. Lemon Pig, how do you kill 2 of them?
Lemon Pig uses their giant blade arms to dig out a huge clod of dirt in the ground and just flings it over at one of the spiders, and it crashes into the other spider, and they explode in a spray of goo.
Dirt spider. And Greta, you're standing in front of the last spooter. It's sort of walking slowly towards you.
Wait, I want Harlan to do that as a zoom in. It's so good.
You can do this, Greta!
Greta's gonna grab one of the other spider carcasses that has fallen down from Gert, just like kind of open up his little door, put it in momentarily, and just pull it out covered in gook and fling it at the other spider.
Yeah, and like this arc of gook doesn't just cut the spider in half, but it just like clear cuts the vine, just, and they all just kind of fall to the ground, and the spider is like, and like slides in half as you like cut it in half, and the 4 of you have a clear exit. What's that?
Resident Evil style.
Exactly, just like shunk. Yeah, and the 4 of you have a clear exit to this, and even the giant creature above is kind of like.
Did you see Spoof's comment in the Discord?
No, what is it?
Greta's like a really terrible easy bake oven.
Yeah, that's accurate.
You mean just an easy bake oven?
Just an easy bake oven.
I'm a Neo easy bake oven.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. You continue on.
Theophania waves up and just goes, "If you have any more spiders, I would like to have one."
And the thing is just like
They could be my friend.
Walks away. You move through the jungle as the sun begins to set and night comes on. And you know how in Avatar, everything in the world kind of lights up at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't it. It gets real fucking dark. And you're like constantly bumping into shit.
We are in the opposite of Avatar.
Yeah. This is made by Tim Flamrin, and it's definitely not a good movie. It's like a B movie.
Can Greta like just kind of pop open his little door to let some of the light out, and then just kind of rely on Gert to tell him where to walk because he can't really see when it's open?
Like Ratatouille on your hair.
Yeah. Can we do a Ratatouille, Harlan?
But like clumps of your hair come out.
Yeah.
I'll just stick 2 spines ever so slightly into you.
Yeah.
And you're
And just
like
push down.
Yeah.
wildly
this all the time.
irradiating the path in front of you as well.
Yes, that's correct.
All the plants are dying.
Yeah, they're just like dying. A third eye pops
the
up on a metal
standard
toad.
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
We've all seen the movie. This is what happens.
Yeah. You move towards this, and in the darkness, as you walk through this irradiated wasteland that you're further irradiating, you hear sort of a heavy movement just beyond this large sort of metal log. You hear this like sort of like slow grinding of metal. This. It gives you pause for a walk.
Does anyone hear that sound? And
Yeah.
Theophania's got like a chest plate made of scorpions because scorpions can withstand radiation. So
Yeah. And
I
all the
didn't know I
scorpions.
needed another reason to hate scorpions.
yes.
Oh god.
Wait a minute, Fallout taught me that they would get bigger. That's a bullshit lie.
She's standing nearby hoping they're just gonna grow. Come on. We're gonna get some rads in you.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, you hear this.
Lemon Pig just points at the origin of the noise and goes, "Ah!" Not sneakily
And
in
this
any way.
large thing that was definitely didn't see you coming now has, and it's like, and like with a heavy,
Sorry, guys.
with a heavy creak, you see in this sort of silhouette of the reflected moon, this large, almost like worm, sort of sits up. It's probably sitting up 15 feet, touching the bottoms of the trees, and with a heavy whoomp, it falls in front of you. You see its headless head and its tiny little mouth. And you know, just to eat, and then it begins speaking to you, but telepathically. You hear it in the back of your brain, and it says, "I need your help."
It's friend shaped.
Speak and we will help you!
Yes.
I am being hurt. And it opens its mouth, and inside you see there's like this tiny little. It's like a perfectly cube-shaped robot with a drill on it, and it's just like happily buzzing away and drilling on the inside of this thing. Just
Can I fit in its mouth?
yeah, of course you can.
Yeah,
You can do
Gert just
anything.
fucking flies off the shoulder. I will help you! And just like just nubs it over into the worm's mouth and starts like spining at the robot. Don't
Yeah,
hurt him!
You touch the robot, and it goes boo and just blows up. Immediately stops.
Sorry, I'm coming out now. Don't swallow. And he'll just nub his way back out and back
it
up
says-
onto Greta's.
Yeah, Greta picks him up, puts him back on. You feel better?
Totally, really annoying. Thank you. It was a research robot. It collected all the information in the world. Thank you for destroying it. It was trying to catalog me.
I think everybody can slowly just
Gert
turn
avoids
to
Theophany's eyes.
Theophania.
No, Lemon Pig just flexes their knives and goes, "You are welcome, worm!"
Yeah, and it says,
I could have used that.
How can I repay you?
What's the thing we're looking for again?
just call it the
Powerful
MacGuffin.
weapon.
MacGuffin.
We're looking for the MacGuffin device.
We're looking for Mr. MacGuffin.
We're looking for McMuffins.
Oh, yes. The last McDonald's was destroyed over 20 billion years ago. I
Accurate.
suppose when you destroyed that creature, the information it carried landed in me. Interesting.
Oh, I've found my new husband. This giant worm. Honey, would you love me if I was a worm? Yes.
I'm actually
You were a giant
ordained.
worm
You guys
full of
want to get
information.
hitched?
Greta is actually ordained.
I am. We can do it right here, right
Before
now.
the internet was destroyed, he went on there, got ordained, you know.
I am
Ordained by
beyond
the
the
Church
need
of
for a
Life.
marriage. In fact, I am beyond the need of all things.
Except
Okay.
for help.
Except, yeah.
Well, not anymore. I was helped, and now I'm pretty good.
Do you know? Do you know where the weapon is? And also, could you give me all of your information? Thank you.
Ah, you must be careful of one thing.
And that
What's
is
that?
Do not forget, the Bondrog may be there before you.
And that's a name that all strikes you familiar. See, in the Flood clan, which is the clan that you ended up being captured by, you know, the four of you being the most powerful dancers in the world were captured. It took 400 of them, so let's be honest. Well, it took 800. You killed 400. But you did notice that there were three sort of heroes of the Flood clan. There was Rory, there was Purglestotz, and there was Bondrog. Now, Purglestotz, well, you know, they were someone who liked to shoot from a distance. They were definitely the one who tracked you because they fired a tracking dart. And Rory, you know, he was like kind of a beast master. But Bondrog, see, Bondrog could be invisible. And suddenly you get a little bit of a chill. You didn't think that, you know, this was a fair game by any shot, but you never thought that the big man would send his three best after you. And suddenly, you're starting to feel like maybe something's watching you, as the worm says,
Bondrog wants those Gorglings, so be careful. I will die now.
no,
No!
no, and Theophania wraps her arms around it like my love, my big worm love.
let's cut open your brain.
Okay, information now.
I
thank you,
would have
bye.
wanted it that way.
Greta, you want
I
the
would have
rest?
wanted it that way.
What?
You want the rest of him? They take the brain. Do you want the rest of him?
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry. Used up a lot of my slag eating spiders.
No need to replenish.
Yeah, and you spend the next 10 minutes destroying this corpse. Unfortunately, he self-destructed. He knew that information he had was too powerful. He killed himself to prevent the information from getting out. It's one of those old, you know, stories. Tales old as time, really.
Yeah, we meet a big worm, and then he tells you a secret, and then he dies, and you eat his brain. Do you feed your bug children with his brain?
I mean, really, we need to
Guys,
start
once
trying
again,
more original
we are just
concepts
going
here.
over the movie Ratatouille, right?
That's right.
Rakakuni.
I'm cutting up these big circular stakes out of the side
Yeah,
of
it's
the
just
worm
metal,
and
to be
feeding
clear.
them.
Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
just metal, but you all eat metal.
Yes, of course.
Like you eat flesh and metal. This is Verdant Chainsaw Ballet, where flesh meets metal.
That's right.
You eat both. They do different things
Is
for
this
you.
a Tim Robinson sketch?
Yeah.
You
The
eat
bones
both.
are their money.
It's coffin flop, but the coffin's full of a huge worm.
But yeah, you do eat both, and you have a nice metal steak.
Make a little worm sushi.
Yeah, worm sheet.
Iron
And-
plating.
The worm-
Right.
Worm sheep.
And you continue moving on. Right?
Yeah, we do. We go.
Perfect.
We're looking.
Really?
Excellent. You continue on towards the sort of space in the trees that you saw. And it's at this moment that you notice the sun is already starting to rise. Wait, when did I say you die?
Second rise of the sun.
Is this that then?
This is the first
second
one.
son. This is first son.
So we'll call it, yeah. So you know the first rise of the sun. And as you do, you hear a familiar voice, and it's humming. Oh, no flies on us. Oh, there ain't no flies on us. I never learned how to hum, so I'll just sing.
Gonna say.
Wait, Dad's here? What's happening?
And you come across sort of this marshy terrain, and as you do, you see sticking in the mud up to his neck and his little nubbly hands is your old friend Gorkus. Gorkus is a fleshy pink orcus with mini chainsaws all over his back and his hands and his ears. And he sees you immediately. Friends!
Gorkas!
Hi, Gorkus.
Where have you
Everybody in the
been?
jungle
Lemmy.
every time.
Getting limmied every time.
Yeah.
It's
Friends.
Scare.
Should I back up more?
Sure.
I'll back up more when I do it next time.
No, I don't mind.
It
It's
sounds
hilarious.
good.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Good.
I love lemon.
Marcus, why are you? You got shorter.
No, I'm stuck in the mud.
No.
No!
Yeah, the Flood Clan threw me down here for helping you all, Gert and Theophania and Greta and Lemon Pig.
And you know Gorkus is like equivalent to the familiar to a vampire. He's the nobody to the supers.
Oh,
he's
of course.
He's your chef.
Oh, I thought you meant he was actually a familiar to a vampire. And I was like,
he is.
as a little
Sorry,
pink guy
let me
covered in
make it clear.
chainsaws?
Gorkus is a
Naturally.
familiar to the vampire who used to be the 5th member of your group. His name was Chainsaw. That's me. I'll be later in this episode. I'm the twist ending. But basically, he's a familiar to Chainsaw, and he's not there yet. What was that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it. He's got chainsaw teeth. So he sucks blood. James, breathe. Don't
I'm
pass
trying.
out.
I'm really trying to remember, guys.
Deep breath in, bud.
Oh, Alex, that's really good.
James already passed out, and I didn't even see it.
Yeah,
Oh.
you'll have to rewatch.
Apparently, my wife was watching, and she sent me a text. She was like, "I was worried about you when you didn't get back up."
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
James. I didn't even
It's
notice.
okay. You guys are just too funny. Having too good of a time.
Anyway, so he's a familiar to your old best friend Chainsaw, who you think died, but he didn't. He'll be at the end of this episode, is the twist. And he turns towards you and he goes,
Oh, can you guys help me out of here?
Yeah.
We're
anyone
sure
think-
it's Gorkus, yeah?
Yeah,
see, now
roll.
that's how you play D&D. Thankfully, this isn't D&D. Of course it's Gorkus.
Does the mud around Gorkus look like it could support my knives? Or will I also get terribly stuck?
Oh, that's a good question. Your knives are so fast that you would... What's your superpower again?
I
Oh, you
spit
shoot pennies.
I spit coins out of my mouth,
you
and
want a better
also
one?
Am
I
I
have
light
knives
enough?
for limbs, and I'm really fast and cool.
Yeah, you're both... Yeah, Gert, you're definitely light enough, and Lemon Pig, you can definitely cut the mud.
Cool. I gallop over there on the tips of all my knives over the surface of the mud, and
And you, like, cut all the other people that are trapped under there?
that's right. It was
all your other
it's
familiars?
all intentional.
All your old friends?
And I scoop them out with a knife and I fling them over to the others.
Oh no, you get there,
Oh,
but
okay.
Gert's also rolling along. And I kind of picture Gert I know you're not. I think you're a cactus, but I keep
I'm a
picturing
cactus.
like, you know those urchins? You know, like a sea urchin.
Oh,
yeah.
I picture that, like you're rolling like a sea urchin around, like you're just,
Oh.
just like sticking yourself on a thing.
Yeah, Gert like put his little nubby arms in and be like, this is the best way. I put the spines out and I roll like a ball.
And takes the two of
Nowhere
you.
near as fast as Lemon Pig.
No,
So I'm
in
like,
fact, Lemon Pig has to
"Hold
wait
on,"
for
it's like,
you. Because every time Lemon
Coming!
Pig tries to help Gorkus, she just stabs him fatally.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I'm bleeding a
Should have
lot
sent
down
someone
here.
with hands.
I like that we sent both of the stabbies.
It's like,
Ow, ow. Oh, God. Oh, this is cutting me every time I try to pull.
but Gorkus also has chainsaw for hands, so it works out.
Yeah.
And Gorkus comes out and he joins you. And Gorkus is, 7 foot tall. Lots of chainsaws, as I mentioned. He's got a beautiful pink robe. It's a bathrobe, and he walks towards the four of you, and he says,
Well, I've been worried about you four for the past few years. I haven't seen you. What happened?
I mean, things
weird.
change. Stuff happens. I'm glad you still have the bathrobe that I got you.
Of course.
and he turns around and it says, embroidered on it, it says Theophania's stuff.
What?
It was mine
I thought I
originally.
was going to say, like, bad boys for life.
No, I wanted to... Theophania's property.
Oh, do I own Gorkus?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's mine now?
Everyone's familiar, sort of.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
turns back around and he says,
Greta, did you ever get that thing checked out?
Yeah, turns out it was contagious.
Oh, I
was
thought so.
contagious?
Oh, Gert, what about you? How are the kids?
You know very well they are deceased. You keep bringing this up every time we speak. I tell you time and time again, I'm not a human anymore. The kids are dead.
Sorry. But I see your fruit's coming along well.
And he turns you around.
Yes. It, do I have a fruiting soon? I think. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but it will.
Anyway, what bring you here?
We're looking for a weapon. We're looking for the weapon. I have a list in my brain of 42,000 different weapons, but there is only one that we are looking for.
Oh,
Of this bomb
Grinner's maw.
Yes.
Sure.
You want the bile pits. They're over that way past the swamp.
He points with his chainsaw.
What terrible name.
Yeah.
Why can't we go to the cotton candy
Swamp.
bits?
Ugh. Do you want me to come with you?
Yeah, come with.
Cool.
You can join us.
Yeah.
And Theophania just sort of like looks over at Gert and goes, "Death fodder?"
Death fodder.
Death fodder? Death fodder?
I
Death
like
fodder?
how you are thinking.
Well, no worries about
The
that.
bugs are hungry.
And Gorkus
we
starts
win.
leading the way. And like as he walks, you notice that he's very clumsy. You remember this very common about Gorkus. You know, he sort of walks and like immediately just chops off a piece of his ear on one of the trees. Just like, oh! And then he goes to like stop it. And he chainsaws his face a little bit. He's like, oh no! And he does it again. He's just like in the background as the four of you are talking about something else, just constantly hurting himself.
Yeah, this is why we just couldn't date. You know, we tried for a bit, but it really
I
wasn't
remember
working
that.
out.
You
Yeah.
know,
It was
you
a noble
blew
effort.
lot of chances.
Yeah. It was
Cool.
after I lost my third arm that I thought I don't think this is working, and I feel
You know,
like,
Three is too many.
sometimes you just gotta do what's best for you.
yeah.
Lemon
it's
Pig puts
self-care.
their arms around your shoulders and just comforts you.
Yeah, and I just pat.
Fine,
pat,
I
like, the
prefer
blade, like,
masturbation.
Gorgas, no!
All
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, this is an 18+ show.
Did I say that already? I think I put that warning up.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Soon you come across the swamp. There's a sort of a low-hanging mist, and it's sort of a greenish, verdant, green. Everything's green hue, and it sort of stretches as far as the eye can see. And you're starting to think that perhaps this is the area in question in which the hole in the trees you saw.
Is this the bile pits?
No, they're beyond. But be careful about these swamps. They're called the ambush swamps.
I'm Theophania sort of sticks her finger in her ear and like roots around, and her finger just keeps going in further and further. Like 2 fingers go in, and she just sort of pulls out a whole bunch of house centipedes, and they all skitter down her arm and down her legs, and they run into the swamp.
That's a second mention of house centipedes. Why are they getting such a shout out in this game?
Park Hall Extended Universe. Booyakasha!
Oh, PHEU, pew, 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 pew.
But also, they're spooky and weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
will say,
you do that, and they all start skittering out towards the swamp.
Okay.
Gert, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, girl will be like, the ambush swamps. I will do well here because I am also a bush. And then we'll be like, did I get there? Levity.
Gorkus is dying laughing.
Oh, good one,
Gert, and he pats you on the back and chainsaws you a little bit.
Gorgas!
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Gargus, remember, you gotta walk 50 paces ahead of the rest of us.
Oh, of course, of
forget.
course.
And Gorkus starts walking across the swamps, takes a wide lead. All your sort of little critters are squirming out, but no one's really, they seem to be pretty much unimpeded. Gorkus walks out at 50 paces, and there's sort of this like calm quiet, it's like whistling in the jungle for a moment. There's not any creatures or anything. And then after a moment, he turns around and he's like, all right, I think we're... And then his head just gets fucking shot off. Like, clean off. Like, we're talking... You see his eyes pop 3D towards you. A headless body falls over. His chainsaws purr their last purr. And suddenly, from the side, 3 beasts burst out. One is a metallic raptor. And it goes... One is a giant metal chicken, also as ferocious. And the third one, well... It's also a metal chicken. But on it riding it is Rory. He's the Beastmaster, and he's back. And he's wearing assless chaps, and he's got his gun, and he blows the and he puts it back in his holster, and he says, "Thought you could get away from me, did you? Don't you remember who hunted you down in the first place?"
No, I deleted that information from my brain because it wasn't worth storing.
Well,
Darn!
Cha! Kitso! And Bori! Get him! And the two go around and attack you on the other side as he fully barrels ahead. Everyone give me a roll.
Fuck.
What's
What do we got left?
Ain't that the question? Bam!
7.
7 for Zoe.
I'll take the 10.
15.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck it. No, 16. I'll take the 16.
It'd be the same situation. Me and Lemon Pig would be like, "Oh shit, I fucked up."
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So Lemon Pig and Gert both rolled 7 and 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two lowest. The chicken and the metal raptor come on either side of you. Just Lemon Pig immediately. The chicken just snaps out one of your blades, catching it in its mouth, and sort of like twists as your arm just rips off and falls to the ground. Gert, the raptor comes at you and scratches you with its big old toe and spills your cacti guts just onto the ground. Theophania, what do you do?
She pushes on her eyes, and they push back into her head, and pouring out of there are just thousands and thousands of black flies. If you've ever lived in any Northern Ontario, Northern Canada, anywhere, you're gonna know the feeling of these things coming for you and taking all your blood. Boy, they love your blood. And there's also horse flies in there. Because horse flies are the worst. Joe gets it. And they pour out of the eye sockets, and they fly towards Rory, who I keep wanting to call Rory Calhoun because he walks in his hind legs.
Yeah, he's Rory Calhoun, and that's his name. And he gets all these black flies come like swinging him down, and they all just right onto his face as he screams, "I forget my voice." Greta, what do you do?
Greta's gonna run over to either the chicken or the raptor, whichever one is.
Which came first?
That's the question.
Should have made one the
Whichever
egg.
one is over on Gert, and Greta's just gonna do like a flying leap, grab the head, and try and like fly past them and just whip it around and slam it into the ground.
Oh yeah, you grab its tail, you swing it around, and you slam it into the ground with a like Transformer-esque power down sound as you crack its little brain. Meanwhile, these flies are eating all the skin off Rory Calhoun's face. Lemon Pig, what do you do?
Well, Lemon Pig does have a power that they haven't shown yet,
True.
and it's in their curly aluminum tail.
Yeah.
They are.
Which is canon, by the way.
It is canonical. They curl this tail like a little corkscrew, and it screws right into the ground and then springs up. And then in the air, Lemon Pig does a cool flip and then lands with their remaining knife directly down into the body of the chicken that stole their arm. And then they scream Lemon Pig again.
Yeah, and again, I feel like there's like a smash cut at this point to like an old man in a tree like 20 miles away for the past 2 days, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Lemon Pig's
There's
also
your Tim
great at
Robinson
parties.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
because Lemon Pig can open wine bottles.
That's right.
Yeah, and like crack open a kit. Like, yeah, you're like, crack this open. It's like Lemon Pig.
Pour it down.
Yeah,
amazing.
popping
Yeah.
cans on everything.
You destroy the chicken in a puff of metallic feathers as they all come falling down. And as the feathers sort of land on your like skin, the electrical charge and the stickiness from the actual what should we call it? Spindles stick to your skin and kind of give you like a little bit of armor. And Gert, you are standing before this raptor that has now been crushed. You see the other one's destroyed under Lemon Pig. You see that the raptor is destroyed in front of you. Rory has his face being eaten by black flies. What do you do? He's still riding something.
Is Rory? So what is he riding?
Another raptor, chicken.
So
or the chicken.
What
It
Gert
was
will
a
do,
chicken.
seeing that he is now like, because Greta has saved him and he is free, he will turn around. He will face away from Rory. Will bend down and point his behind in Rory's direction, and you can just see like emerging like an egg out of a chicken's arse is a big iridescent fruit. It flies in like slow motion, flies out of Gert's his anus
Yeah.
towards Rory's chicken mount.
Yeah.
And as he does it, Gert will cock a leg up and shoot a spine. It'll follow the fruit, stick through the fruit, stick it to the chicken, and then you see it start to like glow and shake until eventually it explodes, eviscerating the chicken. And whatever happens to Rory as his face gets eaten off.
Well, obviously, the iridescent fruit does what it always has done, but you don't know this. And now we see a flashback montage of all these people over the years eating the fruit and dying, and Gert just sort of associates that and he leaves, and but what we don't see is what happens every time is that they come back undead servants to Gert. And sure enough, as this rain of iridescent fruit juice lands on the chicken, lands on Rory, and lands on the headless corpse of Gorkus, all three stand up and are now under your allegiance, Gert. In fact, Gorkus is only a tongue. He's like,
Flapping
at a headless.
Gert will run over and shove his whole self into Gorkus's neck hole.
Yeah.
And just have his little nub saying that I am so powerful.
Yeah, so you put your little needles down, like you run the length of the bone, right? Because you can bend your needles, and they you have 200 little needles all connecting, and you are like doing you are dancing, my friend. You are doing the Verdant chainsaw ballet as you are doing the little dance.
This is difficult to control.
Can I have the bathrobe back now, please?
I will try my best to take it off. If you can manage.
Every time you do it, Gorkus slaps your own hand.
Back. I want my bathrobe.
He's still in here somehow. Shut up.
This is beautiful.
And Rory is also just following you, like headless. It's just a skull now because all the meat's been stripped away, and the chicken is sort of just looking around. Or raptor? Chicken.
That tastes.
It's a traptor.
A traptor, yeah.
Both.
His skull tastes like old beef jerky.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
And as you stand on the edge of the swamp, you see it. The bile pits. The location of the weapon lies somewhere within those bile pits.
You good, Lemon Pig? You lost one of your legs there.
Yeah, Lemon Pig is trying with their other knife hand to pick up their knife arm and put it back on, but it's a little bit...
I got you, buddy.
Yeah, Greta, you pushed it on with a bit of your ooze and it goes right back in. Oh, by the way, Gary, I want to give you inspiration as well.
What can we do with this inspiration?
Oh, funny you should ask. For Lemon Pig and Gary, as the only two who have rolled low both times, convenient, that inspiration allows you to pick first.
Oh.
And you can use that to be the first to pick. Interesting that the two people who have picked the highest numbers, with such odd stretch left, we got the highs and the lows. I wonder what will happen when it matters. Anyway, let's go to the bile pits. And as you enter these flesh and bile pits, the bubbling, roiling pits of bile, you smell this cacophony of... Well, frankly, it's sensual for most of you because you're kind of a little bit fucked up. And there's a wonderful little landscape in front of you of what used to be. It seems that sunken in the bile pits, you see the tippy top of what must be a 13-story parking garage. And for a moment, only Thea Phagephonia knows what it is. I didn't move your name down. Hold on. There we go.
Did you know that we are actually standing in what used to be Boise, Idaho?
Wow.
Yes. There's This area, this used to be called a parking structure, and people used to drive a type of wheeled vehicle into them, and they also would tend to crash them and die. It was confusing and odd. We've never figured out why they did this.
Very strange idea.
Yes, they'd put stickers on them, and exactly. Yes. I also would have liked a Kia Sorento.
And Rory just goes,
Don't be rude.
I put more bugs in his head because I don't like him. It's full of horseflies, all of it.
perfect. And you head down into the parking garage. It's sort of this, it's filled with this metallic moss and greenery. It's all sort of growing on the walls and stretching out like roots that tend to wrap around the corners, and it feels very organic in a way. It feels like you're crawling into the inside of someone's body. And as you move down through the parking garage, you come to an area that seems like it's completely submerged, and yet as deeper down you see there's light.
Yeah,
But
Gert,
then you can breathe.
hey Rory, go investigate that light.
Which one's Rory? Oh yeah.
Rory, the undead Rory.
And he like walks in, blah, 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 and as he does, you just see these like wet tentacles just go and like just drag him down. And then after a few moments, you see bubbling, and you see a full skeleton come up, and then he sits up
Sort of
and he walks back
acid
out.
squid.
If only we'd left his lungs. It would have worked out.
Rory, you're a disappointment.
I'm gonna just take a rib just to tie my hair back with like you would with like a stick.
Yeah, totally. You just snap it off.
I will also take a rib, seeing that parts are up for grab, and feed it into my incinerator hole.
Yeah. He's too ribless Rory.
So
I'm gonna take his skull and use it as a diving bell.
Cool. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I have a little pocket of air while I go in.
Sure.
So I'm gonna stab it onto me somehow.
Yeah, you start drinking, and as you stand in the water, the metal parts of your skin is fine, but the minute your little nubby yellow knees they start getting eaten away by the acid.
Oh no, I hate that.
Yeah.
I run back.
Okay.
Yeah. I scoop Greta. Sorry, I'm Greta. I scoop Lemon Pig out. Lemon Pig, oh no!
My knees are scabby now.
Yeah, they are.
Is it
Scabby.
acid?
Smells
It appears to
delicious
be.
though.
If the undead chicken walks into it, does the chicken get nubby legs as well, or can it withstand the acid?
So the chicken's metal. It walks in and it's totally fine.
Ooh.
Chicken, keep on going. Tell us what's around there.
And it continues.
Or can we all sit on its back and be ferried?
It's also big. You could Trojan chicken it.
Oh!
A Trojan chicken.
I didn't realize it was that big.
It is now.
It's a cool chicken.
Yeah.
Great chicken.
Would we like to go inside? There is a story of the Trojan horse in which a group of people went inside of a large horse and they infiltrated another city. We could infiltrate this horrible acid pit filled with tentacles inside of a chicken. It's
Great
very
idea.
similar.
Lemon Pig uses their knives to open up the battery panel underneath and pops out the 2 AA's, and then we go up inside.
Yeah.
And
You
I
climb up the
close
chicken's
it.
ass. And you like climb in. It's really tight and hot in there. It's like Ace Ventura when he's in that rhino.
It
Nice.
feels nice. It feels good in here. It's just the bugs are loving it, and butterflies pour out and they fly around the chicken's head.
Yeah, and the chicken holds its breath and goes into the acid. And for a moment, you're in what would be a submarine if you knew what that was. Well, I guess Theophania knows what the submarine is.
I am aware.
I am aware. And yeah, you kind of hear the blub, 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 blub of being underwater. And after a few moments, you hear the of like emerging, and the chicken's mouth just like opens all the way. And you can step out, and you're in what looks to be an old underground parking garage. It's sort of like an air bubble under the acid water. But there is this large face on the door. It's this huge sort of like metallic sheen face with glowing red eyes, and its mouth is open and wide enough to walk through, and beyond it you see a door. And as you approach, the door sort of speaks to you without moving its mouth and says,
Hello, why have you come?
We're here for the weapon!
What weapon?
The weapon!
First you must answer a question.
Okay.
Already did. Ah, got you.
He got you!
denied! And a
Fuck!
large spike just shoots through Gert's leg and just pins him to the ground. We can't feel it. It's just dead flesh.
Oh, it's Gorka's leg, isn't it?
Surprising.
It's Gorkas's
I'll just I'll try to use my chainsaws and try to cut the spike off.
you
fake
cut it off,
like
but its leg is just constantly bleeding.
Yeah, you fake it like, ooh, ow, that hurt. How? Why?
I can feel things like a real human. Yes.
Oof.
You must answer a question.
Dead guy cactus face.
What is the question?
To know the question is not correct. You must answer without knowing the question. I will give you a moment to contemplate.
Come we have an
Okay,
in.
guys, group huddle.
Yeah, we all get in. And
Knife-
Lemon Pig's like,
quickly.
I am Lemon Pig.
Yes, yes.
This is
That
true.
Could be the answer, I guess.
I don't think that's the answer.
Oh.
And Theophania is like, I have a wide variety of knowledge, and I have downloaded so much of Gilmore Girls. I could speak of that, but I don't know if it's going to be trivia.
Rory gets really excited at the mention of Gilmore Girls.
Oh, you watched it.
Rory, that's a deep cut.
Yeah.
What's the
Not that deep of a cut.
For those who watched it, people would know.
Theophania,
Pretty
what's
shallow
the
cut.
most common answer to every question?
Yes.
13 and a half.
Well, there
Oh,
we
that's
go.
better. That is better.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
That is a strong one, I think.
Yes.
I'm happy to try that one.
We could try it. We could try the answer. All right. Do we? And I turn around and I face the face.
Yeah, and as you face the face, all 4 weapons activate and target each of your foreheads with red lights.
That means we're onto something.
Oh boy. And I say 13 and a half.
Enter, and the door just goes.
The question I think it was going to ask is, what is a baker's dozen plus 1 extra that the baker dropped?
That is the most common question.
I never would have thought of these.
It's going through this endless shitty Google list in her mind. It just looks like my search history, which is a nightmare.
Threesome.
That was me looking
What
at
is
the
a
word
threesome?
tressum.
It's a dice shame deep cut
Yes.
or shallow
don't,
cut.
Don't Google tressum without knowing how to spell it, or else Google's going to go, did you mean threesome? And then your search history's ruined.
Fucked forever.
Perfect. Yeah, you enter this relatively stale-looking hall. It's very unlike the verdant wasteland above. There are these sort of futuristic white walls that reflect the dim lights above. Your feet and wet, sludgy feet click on the halls beneath you, and as you move through, you get this eerie sense. It's called air conditioning.
Oh, this is uncomfortable. I do
This
not
is
like
strange.
it, but I know this whispering sound. And they used to fill it in a thing called malls.
Sounds horrifying.
Yes, all kinds of words. They would have gaps, big holes, and J. Crews, just reams of soldiers coming towards you, dressed beautifully, in blazers.
I'm glad we live now and not through that hell.
Yes, yes.
Lemon
yes.
Pig shudders in fear.
Sounds horrible.
And as you enter the deep dark of the facility, everyone give me a roll. And remember, if you have inspiration, you can choose to use it now to go first, if you want.
Oh, fuck it. I'll do it. 17.
Oh, didn't even go for the 20 with a 17. Okay.
I'm not going to use my inspiration, but I'm going to choose 18.
Nah. You just did it quickly.
3.
Oh.
Alex and I are on the same page, but I'm gonna one up that. I'm just gonna go straight for a 1.
Whoa.
Give me that good failure.
We are, I would say, flipping the script.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, you took the 1. That's a
I
bad
did.
roll.
Give me the bad stuff.
As you move-
Ruin my perfect nuclear reactor body.
You move through.
Irradiate
through
me,
this-
Daddy.
The dark hall. And as you're walking through the hall, you recognize a familiar scent. Just kind of comes to your nose. At first, it reminds you of barbecue, melting flesh, but it's wrong. It's rotten. It's putrid, and that's when it hits you. It's Axe body spray. Only one person wears Axe body spray, and before you can react, shimmering out of his invisibility, Bondrog drives a blade through Greta from behind, right through the hole, spilling its own liquid onto its own body, and through the neck, lifting Greta in the air as blood and guts start pouring out.
Greta, no. That
And
is what we call a dick move.
whoever rolled 18 gets to go first. I forget.
I think it's Lemon Pig.
Lemon Pig.
I did, yeah. Lemon Pig is standing right beside Greta, thankfully.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to pin both of Bondrog's
Come on.
Bondrog's feet to the floor with their pig feet, with their knife feet.
Yeah, do it.
So that Bondrog can't move anymore. Even if they go invisible, we will still know where they are. So I
pin Bondrog's feet.
Stab the feet.
And you've seen Bondrog only a few times, and you see he's got like this green flesh with big pointy melted ears. You know what he kind of looks like? He kind of looks like the aliens from Fifth Element, the bad guys, but like green and a little less lumpy is like what he looks like in my brain right now. You pin both of his feet, and you pin them, and he looks at you. He doesn't even look angry. He's like smiling. Gert, you rolled a 17. What do you do?
Gert is going to try and shamble over in Gorgus's chainsaw corpse.
Yeah.
And if Bondrog is pinned by the feet, he's going to try sever both of his arms, especially the one that is holding Greta up, because he wants to get Greta free from his predicament.
Yeah, so he's stabbing through Greta. You start sawing through his arms. You can get one of them. He's like sawing. He's like,
Okay.
He starts sawing through this arm. And he's like, ugh, and he's smiling the whole time. He's just like looking at you now. He's just looking at it. Meanwhile, Theophania, you also rolled a 3. And what's happening from you is as you see this and turn around and stumble back, Greta's ooze is pouring down him, but onto you. It's like sizzling down your back and chewing up all these bugs as it's just sort of like, and the bugs are turning on you, and they're starting to gnaw at your roots. They're just panicking. They don't hate you. They're just like, we don't know what to do. Start eating because we need to survive. We need to consume to survive. What do you do?
I turn around and I face Bondrog.
Bondrog. You've known him for like 30 years.
I know. It's again.
We all
I'm in a
intentionally
panic.
get his name wrong.
I'm in a panic. I turn around and I face Bondrog, and I do like a really cool like front flip, like it's like again like a Resident Evil thing, like I'm Mila Jovovich in that.
Jovovich.
And I jump over and I land on his shoulders, and I put my mouth really, really close to his ear, and I just go, have you ever wanted to learn about what the trees talk about? And I put it's not a tongue, just roots spill out, and they pour into his ear canal and just start snaking in through his head.
Except you rolled a 3. So
Yes.
it doesn't happen
No.
because you accidentally do that to Greta. And as you're on Greta, pouring your tongue into Greta's ears, Greta's just like, because you're like really happy, confident about this. You're like, I got this. Torturing my friend accidentally.
trees.
Oh, Greta, I
Greta's so
apologize.
pure.
I apologize. I'm
That's
in
great.
such
And
a
you're
tizzy.
so Theophania, you're on Greta, paining them. Greta, you are bleeding out through your stomach. What do you do, Greta?
Greta's gonna. Oh fuck! I don't know.
I mean, it's a nat 1.
It's a
Bad
nat
one.
one. Greta's like, he's just leaking sludge everywhere. He's trying to like hold it together. He's gonna just take the door and just kind of rip it off and start to like just try and like pool up
Scoop
the gun.
it in. I'm all right. I can live.
It's a more gruesome yet still equally horrifying
Yeah.
version
sad.
of that
So good.
technological art project of the robot leaking oil and just continuing to
Yes.
scoop the oil back in towards it.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens. And Lemon Pig and Gert have like cut off and this dude who's like pinned to the ground, armless now, is just smiling because he knows the damage has been done. And he smiles. And he says, Bondrog out, bros. And then he just goes invisible again. And then you're like, he got away. And then you see these like bloody footprints. And then it falls over. Where did he go? He's just like coughing blood into nothing. Greta, you are dying.
Fucking yeah.
What does everyone do to help Greta? I mean, 2 attacks. One from Bondrug and one from Theophania. Brutal
She
stuff.
pulls back and she's like, sorry.
Is Greta completely cut open, like almost like his ribs splayed out or something?
I don't know.
Bas-
Are you?
I like the idea that, yeah, like the entire incinerator's like kind of cracked open. You can see the one kind of nuclear material just kind of glowing faintly as like everything else has been leaking out, and you can see that he's just kind of, yeah, he's a broken shell of a man now.
Gert's gonna try sew him up with spines.
Nice.
Ooh. You want to, but the problem is there's just not enough skeleton in Greta. And there's a moment where you're like panicked looking around and it's like really sad and the camera just pans over to Rory who's like and then like
Rory,
Rory's
my-
about to continue to the next room and then you all
Rory,
just
my
look at
cousin,
Rory.
it's time. It's time, Rory.
And smash cut. And Greta, you're back. You're not 100%, but you kind of have this like human skeleton in your kind of half metallic body, and Rory's just like skull is in the corner of the room you're leaving, just hissing away. And yeah, you're kind of okay for now. You're
Okay.
able to get to the final room, which says on it, Project Grinnermaw. But it needs a hand scan.
I don't
Lemon
have any
Pig
hands.
reaches out and then realizes that it's just a big knife, and then looks
Orcus has
sad
hands
for the
either, does
first
he?
time ever.
It's okay, friend. It's
And
okay.
then Lemon Pig looks at their knife hand and holds it up to the light and watches the light refract down the length of the blade, and then just drops their hand at their side and shakes their head slowly.
But as you have the light refracting and reflecting from the sheen, something you never noticed before. The reflection is a perfect human hand. And as it hovers over the pad, the lights turn on and the doors open.
Lemon Pig just stands with all 4 knives splayed in front of the open door and then bows.
Greta is crying.
Yeah, Gert
All
too.
crying.
The hand was in you all along, my friend.
Beautiful.
You were always the hand. And then just a whole bunch of bugs pour out of Theophania's eyes.
Lemon Pig!
There you go. Perfect. You enter the final room. You've been traveling for so long, like at least an hour and 39 minutes. And as you enter this room, it's dark at first. Motion activated lights click on. And it shows you a relic from the past, untouched. The weapon to end all mankind, some would say. Some would say the person who destroyed or created this destroyed countless lives and millions of people across the globe. This was a horrible weapon that was dropped on people. And it's really a horrific thing that exists. Of course, it is a flying hover tank. And painted on the side, it says, "This machine kills fascists." And as you see it, and in all of its glory of the great hover tank drop of 2039, you recognize this as the ultimate weapon.
That's pretty badass.
We
I
did
like
it.
it.
Did you know that they had originally 4 different versions of this? The original version just said, "This machine asks fascists to leave nicely," and it did not work.
It shot bubbles.
Yes, it was powered by like a big goofy like penny farthing bike. So
It came a long way in 3 generations.
Gert, you feel a tongue lipping underneath you, and for a second, you feel Gorkas just take you off and hold you, and he puts a hand on top of his tongue to kind of form a mouth for a second.
Okay.
He says,
Hey guys, it's still me. I'm really proud of you for getting here. I have one thing to reveal, though I do have my old master chainsaw here in this dust.
and he blows him, and Chainsaw appears, your old friend, and he's a vampire. He's like,
chainsaw.
"Hey,
You're not dead."
guys, I'm
It's been a
Yes,
while.
I wanted to make sure I got to the end before he revealed me, so here I am, nice and safe. It's been a long time, but welcome. Welcome to see me, and I'm happy to see you.
Lemon Pig throws an arm around you. Chainsaw and just says, "How's it going?"
Oh, Lemon Pig, you have been working on your speech impediment so well. It's going very well. I overheard everything, including what Gorkas filled me in on. You intend to bring this weapon back to Gruzzle?
That was his bomb collars. We don't. Kaboom.
Worry not about that. And with a fell swoop, he vampires them off.
What, did the bomb collars invite him inside?
Yeah. Listen, vampires are good for 2 things: chainsawing necks and getting rid of bomb collars. And he looks towards
True.
you.
I
Do
forgot
you
about
still
that.
intend to use this weapon for him?
I mean, I think it
Yeah,
could be
we're
more.
gonna use it for killing him.
I do like this change.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait.
That's a much better option. I've thought through about 14 different options, and that's the best one.
Wait.
Well, I suppose there's only one thing to do. And with a wave of his sleight of hand magic, he reveals an old tape which says an awesome rock song. It's a mix. It says an awesome rock song mix.
The chat's just saying vampires them off over and over again.
I don't understand what's confusing about it.
It just makes sense.
Grezel stands on the edge of a cliff, watching the second sun rise. With a smile to himself, he nods.
I'm excited to end those.
And then he stops. He looks towards the distance. The sun is not just the sun, for there is a shadow growing in the east. It grows larger as he hears the distinct noise of a Phil Collins song. It's not in the air tonight, which would be cool. It's Don't Lose My Number, which is still good. Suddenly appearing in a silhouette, we see standing on top, the knife arms raised, Lemon Pig. Standing next in a cool pose, we see Greta Gut with a skeletal body. On their shoulder, Gert. Standing between, we see Chainsaw in a vampire pose. And of course, Theophania standing in like a cool thinking pose as the hover tank comes towards the cliff. No, no, no! Lemon Pig, you act first. Give me a roll.
I'm taking the 20.
Yeah! Lemon Pig, what do you do with your 20?
I feel like Gert is at the gunning helm of this tank, and as Gert lets off a missile, Lemon Pig rides the missile towards our.
Yeah.
What's the fuck his name is?
Grezel.
Grezel, yeah. So Lemon Pig is riding this missile towards Grezel, and then in advance of the missile hitting, jumps off, does a somersault, and plows right into him.
Yeah, your blades go through his eyes first. And go up, and you swipe out his skull as the lower half of his body takes the brunt of the rocket. And he vomits out explosive as it just chews his insides. And
Lemon Pig!
Everyone else who's taking another number.
I'll take the
Go for
19.
19?
Yeah. I'll take the
19 for
19.
credit.
Yeah.
In his new kind of skeletal body, jumps off of the hover tank and lands in a crowd of one of these 400-something minions. And you see the little core that used to be protected by a lead-lined surface is just kind of standing there, and it glows slightly, and then it grows very brightly, and almost like a flash, it expands out from the skeleton, and Greta is surrounded by shadow skeletons, almost as if people have been incinerated on walls, and they all start acting at once, slashing and fighting and punching.
And everyone just falls apart in cubes around you. 62 people surrounding you just kind of fall over. Dead. Who's taking the next number?
9.
9! What do you do, Theophania?
Yes. She stands up, and from her back just extend these like giant version of the Intel Inside butterfly wings. It like rips out through her flesh, and she goes to like fly, and it doesn't really work. She kind of just sort of goes like whoa, and sort of
It's
disappears.
gliding.
and then like she's gone for you're like okay, and
Too
then
long?
also she comes up like it's not cool. It looks like she's just putting so much effort into not falling to her death. But
Yeah.
she lands and then sort of stumbles and then tries to look cool. And then she gives a little wink to like whoever's still standing, and all of these mosquitoes, millions of them, pour out of her mouth and her eyes and her nose, and they just go and they just start draining the blood of anything still standing.
Oh, yeah, they all start sucking. They, like, all first go on one guy who's just like, and, like, pops because they just suck all his blood out. And, like, they're all, like, spinning around going on everyone. You only kill 35 in that first go, but it is a bloodbath. It's just painted red. And finally, Gert, I'm assuming you'll take the 8 or whatever other number you want.
I'll take the 8. Yeah, I think did Lemon Pig say I fired the missile, right? That Lemon Pig rode. Yeah. After that, Gert was very safety conscious, had seatbelted himself in. He tries to undo the seatbelt unsuccessfully, and is kind of foostering around, hits the eject button by accident, and you just see like on the cockpit this like chair and like flying out, and Gert goes, be careful, I cannot fly anymore. And like as he flies up into the sky, you see like his silhouette catches in the sun, and he just like, okay, I've got a very clear view from up here. Okay, fuck it, and just starts raining spines down on anything you can see. You're like, I've got to do something useful.
You're like spinning, like, and all your spikes are just flying out like layer upon layer upon layer and layer. You kill the least with only 31, but you still kill a ton. And between Lemon Pig's explosion, which killed 148, and Greta's 62, and basically everyone is dead. And as you all sort of land in your cool heroic poses in a line, Chainsaw floats down as well. And there's, one guy standing left, and Chainsaw's like, if you don't mind, which is his catchphrase, and everybody laughs, and he takes a big bite, and he like drains him. He's like sawing him up, and he just saws him over. Yeah, and he turns back, and there's sort of like this calm, and Chainsaw's like, well, now I am so glad that we did such a great job at killing my nemesis. And suddenly Chainsaw grows darker, and he says, that's right. I tricked all 4 of you. But don't worry. The Grorkis wasn't in on it at all. I wanted you to kill Gruzzle all along. Who do you think sold you out and got you kidnapped in the first place?
That would make sense.
Yes.
His classic Chainsaw move.
And with a single hand, he bomb collars them back on. And he says, and now to complete what I had planned to do all along. And he pulls out the bomb collar, and just before he can push it, you hear a familiar hiss. And Rory is behind you. And he goes, and Chainsaw is momentarily distracted. It doesn't matter. But what you realize he's saying is, duck. And as you do, the hover tank flies down unpiloted and crushes Chainsaw to death, leaving a vampiric smear across. And the bomb collars fall off because when a vampire's them on and he dies, they come off. Because he made them his familiar. When you kill a head vampire, anyone under his thing dies. And because he put it on, he got it off. So the four of you stand, the verdant jungle behind you, a sea of death in front of you, and with the dying sunlight, Gert says,
That was pretty fun. I have to admit, the whole thing. I liked it. Did you like it as well? My kids are dead.
There's a there's a thing that people used to do. It's in my brain thing, and to celebrate, we could all do it. It was a salutation to the sun. I believe it was called a dab.
and all four of the dancers dab. The end. And that was Verdant Chainsaw Ballet.
Perfect game.
So good.
I love everyone. I have questions about this vampire.
God, that
I
fucking
explained it.
vampire shit was the funniest thing ever. God.
There you go. That was Verdant Chainsaw Ballet.
Perfect game.
The first in a 10-part series.
Yes, Colin Burkhart, thank you. Oh God, I need art of them all dabbing now. Please, someone.
I think my favorite
That'd
part
be
is how
so good.
everyone's body basically changed by the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Theophania, you like got bigger and you did different bugs and you had wings at the end.
Yeah.
Fucking Lemon Pig, you didn't have an arm and you had metal plates. Gert, you were riding a body, and Greta, you have a skeleton underneath you.
I
Very
mean,
cool.
our bodies are kind of piecemeal to begin with, so
Yeah.
they
It seems very
change.
on theme.
That's the lore of this world, and that's how we did it. Great job, players. Fantastic. Very, very fun. Thank you so much for everybody who joined us and hung out with us tonight. Of course, this is the Invictus stream. If you like the video, we'll be back next Wednesday with another one-shot adventure, probably. And yeah, that is it from us, as my good friend Gary always likes to say.
Eat a spicy sandwich every now and then.
Eat a spicy sandwich every now and then. Good night.
Good night!
Nice.